Hello Gemini, how you doing? Welcome to your Astroflower reading for 2024. Yes, we are late. Yes, we've had a cold. Yes, we've still got that cold. A little bit of a runny nose more than anything else now. So I do apologise about it being a little bit late. Done the collective reading, which you should have seen maybe on our channel last week. Shift in the way in which we perceive life was basically what came out of the 24 reading, the collective reading, and that's going to change a lot on people. And it's mostly been playing on the 3 months to 9 month period of 2024. So we'll see how that sort of all sort of pans out. Anyway, just to sort of show you, we've got the overall energies here. We've got the karmic messages on your spiritual path and on your material path as well. Then we're going to be taking the first 3 months, second 3 months, third 3 months, and fourth 3 months, basically, as we go forward. We will be clarifying with the Light Seers card at the end. Thank you very much for being here. Hope you have a lovely reading. King of Pentacles. It's been wanting to come out, actually, all day long, that card. And it's finally out. So you're going to rule your roost by the looks of things, or at least the energy is trying to give you this sort of confidence in what you're doing, confidence in who you are and where you've been and what you know, your understanding of life and how life sort of like the process of life, the way in which we do things, going from step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to completion. That sort of scenario, following those sort of steps. And I think it's going to be, you're going to be looked upon, or sort of, in the overall sort of energy here is sort of saying you're going to take a position of authority, not only within your life, but in the life of the people that are around you in a way. And that's sometimes difficult for you, Gemini. And here it's just a kind of, it's not a case of, hitting your hand on the table, stamping your foot down or anything like that. It's actually your authority comes out through your understanding, through your knowledge of the situation. On your relationship side, in your karmic message, you get the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, this came out in the collective reading as well, and I think this has to do with that significant shift. Basically, we're sort of, now we're sort of, with the spirit here, is as if like you have this way of doing things, Gemini, which you can apply your spiritual path on in a very physical way in the physical world that is around you in regards to your spirit and your sort of emotions and your sort of energy. And this is a new path for you. This is a new leadership role, I think. This is what comes out here. So we got the King of Pentacles here, but he's holding on to that one pentacle in particular. And I think that's what that is all about. And this ties into this sort of like your role is to take on board that authority of knowing how life works and being that go-to person when people are looking to sort of progress on their spiritual path in the physical sort of sense. In the first 3 months, going from January through to March, you get the Eight of Swords. Interesting one, the Eight of Swords and that. Do you feel stuck in that sort of scenario? Is that what you're feeling? I think this is more of a case of do not move so you can see what is going on around you. I think this is basically, this is building up this. And it's through observation that does this. And it's sort of like, don't spend your emotions. Don't, allow your emotions to run riot in the world. It's sort of like, it's almost as if it's sort of saying, keep your emotions to yourself, or else you may sort of feel like you dry yourself out emotionally in the first 3 months. I think this is a very observing of how the pieces are starting to fall. So then you can then see clearly your karmic path of where you're supposed to be going upon your spiritual path. And I think this is more of an observation thing more than anything else. It's also a way of sort of moving on from one stage of your life into another. Because in the second 3 months, and now this is into your birthday season, and because this is slightly into your autumn period here, when March really, March period. So you know, because your birthday season starts in May. It's the 3 months before your birthday. And there may be a feeling of that, and it's tied into the old way of living as well, because you're doing that transition between the two. So seeing what's happened in the past year, seeing what you don't want to continue and what you want to start for new and everything like that. And then in your birthday season, you get the Knight of Swords here. This is going on a mission. This is where it all sort of starts, I think, more than anything else for you. Going from April through to June. So this is your birthday season here, totally coming into your birthday season and the starting of a whole brand new year for you. It seems like you get this through this observation, which you should be doing in the first 3 months. It seems like you get this clear vision of how to secure your spiritual path or your emotional path or your energetic path in the coming future. And then on your birthday, it really ties in beautifully into the rhythm of your birthday, and this is where it kicks in. I've got a funny feeling this is where this Ace of Pentacles really does start working in your favor. Brings you a lot of luck, brings you a lot of opportunities, and a way to express your spirit in the physical world, within the world that is around you. In the next 3 months after that, you get the Four of Swords. Look at this, nothing but swords over this. Very mental energy here. So it's very Aryan energy, and you've got that Aryan energy. And I think this is basically, I think this is what I'm getting off the Eight of Swords and this whole sort of like feeding through for these two here. And this Eight of Swords here is I'm getting a little bit like sort of like a bit of trepidation on your behalf to start this journey, and it's sort of like umming and ahhing, feeling a little bit stuck maybe, but I think that is a good observation point to start from. And then you get this sort of mission of where to go on, and it's almost as if like in between July and September, you're almost kind of like, it's almost kind of going, thank God I started this journey. You know, it's brings you enormous amounts of self healing, self belief, sort of understanding about where your home is, feeling you know right in your place, as it were, in regards to the world around you. In between July and September, during the summer months in the northern hemisphere and the winter months in the southern hemisphere, this is where you really start feeling at one. And I think this is because you're starting to get into this. You're starting to really physically do things and physically embarking on a new journey for you as you go forward. How's this all play out by the end of the year? You get the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, nurturing your future, which you're very good at. And nurturing things in a way of sort of building blocks of doing one thing after another till you get to your success. Consistency and permanence within your direction. And I think this is what comes out of this healing sort of thing. It's now knowing that you're fully onto this pathway and you're really starting to nurture your future. And it's also seeing what works for you in a way as well. Now you finally got onto that mission. It's sort of seeing which aspects sort of you know are bringing in the results basically. And this comes out of that sort of that healing process that you go through between August and September. And in the last 3 months, this is where you start nurturing the things that really work for you. Nurturing that Ace of Pentacles. On your material path, I almost feel like I've been saying this for a long time. I feel like I've been saying this all year to you, Gemini. There is a pathway that is difficult for you to take. It's a decision that you need to take. I don't think it's even the decision. I think it's an evident path that you should be following. And it's in your karmic path to go on this journey, to make this decision, to step through the door. And when you do, then you're going to be the leader of your destiny, your divining star to your outcome, basically. And you're going to be the main driver behind it by the looks of things. Yeah, a lot of decisions. So in the first 3 months here, maybe this is why you're getting the Eight of Swords on the your spiritual path, because there's a lot to sort out on your material path here. There's decisions and planning that needs to be put into place. for your going future of how you want. Yes, you're coming into your autumn period as well. And this is what I mean about sort of reassessing what you've been doing over the last year and what you want to be doing in the future. And this is what comes up with the two of wands. It's like in the first 3 months here is like you're really planning, meticulously planning your future. And it might mean it might lead to travel. I'm not sure if there's travel within the planning. I don't feel that in particular. It could be for some of you changing home, changing area, whatever. It may mean you need to travel in order to get your plans done. But whatever it is, I think it's more of a case of really planning for your future. And then in the months going between April and June, so this is going right up to your birthday season, we've got obviously on the spiritual path, we've got the Knight of Swords, and now we've got on your material path the Seven of Swords. The 7 is that number of realization. You've got 2 7s out of here as well. And this is this realization of how you sort of play smart to avoid any complications in the future. And this is all down to your planning. And I think playing smart in a way here is following that planning on that change of direction that you are provoking within you, within your workspace. And it could be within your job, your business, or your projects. I think there's something that really does need to change this year. And it's, I don't want to say you're stuck in a rut, but it could be a bit of that. You might have been trying to do something over the past year and a half, and it just hasn't really been sort of working for you in the best sort of ways. Maybe it's your career path, maybe it's your business or your job or your projects. But here is now, is with these decisions and this planning that you're putting forward, I think you're starting to realize how best to how best to get the best results, basically. And this is where you're starting to really play smart. And this is bringing a lot of knowledge and understanding into your life, basically. And then you get the Knight of Cups. Yes, a great offering for you, I think, more than anything else. This is also sort of a fast-moving knight, as it were. And it's also a case of engaging with your the passions or your heart's desires in a way. And I think this is this new path that you need to be taking. Something that's much more fulfilling in much other ways than just sort of security and finances. There is also a security of the heart and a sensation of doing what you feel like you should be doing. And this is really coming up here in the months between August and September. And it's strange how these sort of like play off one another. So there seems to be times here, like on this side here, on the second month, between April and June, it's much more relaxing on the material side, and you're pushing a lot more on the spirit. And then what comes up opposite on this sort of side, there's this here is where you got the first 3 months, which is also very sort of planning and stationary in a way. And then as we come up to the August to September, you've got this sort of on your emotional, your spiritual side, there's much more of a regrouping here. But on your material side, this is where we get much more into the expansive stuff. So it seems to like you found a nice sort of rhythm, or you can find a nice sort of rhythm between your work and your play ethic, basically, and your spiritual path and your material path, between the two. What comes out of it? The Four of Pentacles. I think once you realise this heart's desire opportunity that's being driven your way or given to you or offered to you, you're not gonna let go of this opportunity with ease. And I think here is where you're going to be very wise in how you sort of spend your time, your effort, your money, your energy on everything in regards to that sort of new pathway that is opening up for you, or new possibility that is coming your way, because you need to I think there's a certain part of the soul that you might need to satisfy, and like sometimes you could have a job that doesn't pay you enormous amount of money, but then again, you might have sort of like 3-4 day weekends every weekend, so you can do a lot of stuff within your life. Therefore, you're time rich rather than money rich, and I think that's what sort of plays into the most here. Let's just do a bit of clarification on the Light Seers card, shall we? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for being part of the Astroflower family. There's loads of links in the description below. And there's loads of which ways you can show your support through the YouTube channel. So thank you very much for being here, Gemini. Let's just go through this. So with the with the King of Pentacles, you get the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, I think you're going to run a tight ship this year, and I think energy is also encouraging you to do that. It's like you have all this knowledge and understanding about life and about how things work, and that puts you in a very good position of power, and you shouldn't give that away easily. It will help you to progress within your career or your projects or your business, certainly once you follow your heart, and this will mean sort of not selling yourself short, basically, on that sort of side of things. I think it's a very good, beautiful position. As I say, I think it's going to make people come to you rather than you have to go searching for everything in life. With the Ace of Pentacles, you get the Ace of Swords. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of mental energy, but you've got all of this air at the top here, with this fire at the bottom within you. And you are a bit of a false air sign because you've got more fire in you than you do actually air. And if you allow that fire to come up through you, it's going to make you a sort of a very quick, very sharp mentally, which will allow you to really progress within your spiritual path. And it gives you those victories and that clear vision about where you're going. You've got two aces there. This is a whole new beginning for you. This is a whole new way of being. And it's how you convert your spirit into the physical world with these two aces here on your karmic path. And it's a new beginning for you. And I don't think you can refuse it either, Gemini. With the Eight of Swords, that was Cody. You all right, Cody? All right. With the Eight of Swords, you get the Ace of Wands. We've now got 3 aces on here. Look at that. You got those 3 aces on your base. This is going to be an amazing beginning of a year. And I think this is where your karmic path is actually really pushing you forward. And as it does push you forward, this new thing that's coming through, this new passion, this new fire in your belly, as it were, this new desire for life, is going to force you out of that position which you may have found that you were stuck. And you may find that within your relationships that are around you, that it's been very staid, very sort of stuck in a routine, as it were. I think there's a new passion that's coming through for you, which is going to move you out of that position, or force you out of that position with those 3 aces. And that plays beautifully into your birthday season, into June. And then out of June, going from July, August and September, this is where we're coming out of your birthday season and into your life. Your desire, your mission is happiness. There is so much. It almost feels like people are not going to notice how quickly you are progressing because you're concentrating on your pathway. You're getting on and doing, basically, Gemini. And happiness is your goal. Happiness is your destination, basically, within this new mission on your life. And when you start going for it, then all of a sudden, I think you're going to find that the people around you who were not really, they weren't holding you back or anything, but they were keeping you in a comatose state, weren't allowing you to fly, as it were. And now I feel like you're learning how to fly and take off with the Star card. Look at that, the four of Swords and the Star card. That's that healing process. I think you're healing with your original dreams, as if like things are coming up from when you were a lot younger, and the energy of when you were a lot younger and how you sort of kind of wanted life to be. the activities you used to do when you were younger. I think that probably ties into that a lot. And all of a sudden now you're starting to explore all of those beautiful avenues within your life, and reconnecting with your childhood dreams in a way. It's really, really nice. And then with the Seven of Pentacles, you get the Queen of Wands. This is what I mean about nurturing those things that are working for you, realizing what works and what doesn't work for you. And this is where you can concentrate on it. And I think there's a lot going on for you, actually, once you start really getting into the rhythm of life. And that's going to help you being very much more sociable, but also concentrating on one thing at a time, not trying to do everything at once at the very same time. But when you're doing one thing, concentrating on that one thing to get the best out of it, and according to applying your spirit in the world around you. Let me just blow my nose. Excuse me a second. Thank you very much. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of that. I think you're progressing enormously without anybody actually seeing you do it. And I think people are going to start waking up and over the coming year and kind of go, wow, Gemini is really taken hold of life with both hands here and really living it. It's absolutely beautiful. Really, really nice. Let's just see what's going on with the Two of Swords. You get the Emperor card. Yeah, owning your future. This is a decision you're going to make. And it's a decision within you. It doesn't necessarily mean a decision of, I want this job. It could well be for some of you. And if it's that clear for you, then I would just go after it. Or wanting to do this business or do this project, I would go after it. But I think it's more of a case that because it's on the karmic path here, I think this is a moment during this year where you're going to realize that actually living life is so much greater and so much more rewarding than just sort of keeping your head down. Excuse me. Rather than just keeping your head down and just sort of accepting things, I think you're now starting, your karmic mission here is pushing you on to really start pushing those decisions in order to live life. And that's the one decision that is within you more than anything else. With the Two of Wands, you get the High Priestess. Yes, using your intuition to do this planning, feeling it, knowing where you want to be going. And there's a lot of preparation that's going on in the background, and I wouldn't go shouting about it on the rooftops. And I think this ties into that playing smart as well. And it certainly feels like that as well within your spiritual path on that side, and your emotional path, and within your relationships and stuff like that. It's not a case of sort of kind of jumping out of the bath shouting eureka, eureka, I got it. It's more of a case of you kind of sitting in the bath kind of going, yes, got it. And then when you get out of the bath, you get dressed and you're ready to rock and roll, and no one will see it. And I think that's what that playing smart is all about, and using your intuition to do this planning in the background, I think is really important. And then with the yes, it is the Empress. Sorry, having a brain freeze at the moment. With the Seven of Swords, this intelligent way of doing it is putting forward that plan. Now, this is quite interesting because look at that. You've got the Empress and you've got the Emperor. It is like divine. It's a divine path that you should be doing, that you are creating something new. You're giving birth to something new. And this comes out through like an emotional stability within you, which gives birth to a whole new world, a whole new cycle. And you're owning it in so many different angles, so many different dimensions in your material path. And it's yes, there's been a lot of planning. And then when you get on and start actually enacting that planning, that's when the smartness is going to come into play. And that's when you're going to really start feeling that, yeah, I'm in control of my destiny. And feeling good about the control of your destiny. With the Knight of Cups, you get the Tower. I think this is a really good moment. I think this is a really good offering. Because you're playing smart, because you're owning your sort of destiny, it's going to be a real shake-up moment for you. And it could be a new job, it could be a new business, it could be, but whatever it is, it's something that's being offered to you. Either it's being offered by the university, either it's being offered by a company, or a project, a possibility. It could be an inheritance, or a new acquisition of a property, or whatever, or selling a property. It just seems like it's a break, or this is like a break, or freedom from old chains in the past, because you're heading now down that pathway which is being offered to you, and making you sort of investigate and then explore and install your heart's desires as you go forward. What's with this Four of Pentacles? Now that came out in the overall energies as well, with the King of Pentacles here, and owning your sort of future, being very sort of wise in how you spend your time, money, effort, and everything that is around you. You get the Three of Pentacles with the Four of Pentacles. This could tie into this as well. This offering that's happening to you, that is going in your sort of direction, it is good quality work, and I think you're getting recognised as well. This is where I said things are really sort of coming through in the future, where you are being recognised, you are being recognised for the good jobs you've been doing, or the good quality of work you've been doing, and it's attracting that in other people in your direction. And this comes in, and this plays into that as well. Being and following that heart's desire for you, I think is gonna make you excel in life. This is a very solid, progressive pathway, a very evolutive pathway, which has a lot of happiness within you. And how it comes out through you, through your actions in the world, and you playing smart and having that inner knowledge that's going to take you so much further than most other signs by the looks of it. It seems like a very, very consistent pathway going forward. So there you go, Gemini. Thank you very much for being with us. I do have the Pluto transition between sort of Capricorn and Aquarius readings. That's coming up next week as well. I'm going to be trying to do a live at some point. My cold needs to get a little bit better in order to do the live, but I will keep you informed about that. If you're subscribed to this channel, you will get notifications when that live is coming out. Yes, so I will see you soon. It's all that's left for me to say is, I guess, thank you very much for being here. And don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.